Hi everybody, Karen here, and thanks for joining me for an Ignite flow today. Yes, let's ignite that core. So we're going to spend some time and send some energy into that core strength, and we'll kind of use it as a metaphor for that strength within, standing strong and facing anything the day might bring. So let's go ahead and start. And if you have some yoga blocks around the house, that would be great. Go ahead and place one at the top of your mat and one at the back of your mat. And if you have no yoga blocks, don't worry. You probably have some books. So you can place a nice thick book at the top of the mat and the rear of the mat. And then if you would like to, there's probably, you could use an optional cushion at the end, some restorative poses as well, but we could use the blocks instead. So go ahead and grab whatever you might want to grab, and let's go ahead and start face up on the mat. Just taking a few breaths in this position and seeing how you feel. Beginning to extend each inhale and each exhale a little bit longer, a little bit slower, a little bit deeper. And just taking in the fact that as we notice the breath, as we extend the breath, there are already some changes, subtle ones happening within the body and within the mind. We'll begin to link a little bit of movement to this breath. So we'll inhale to reach the arms up overhead, flexing the feet. And sighing out through the mouth, bringing the hands back down by the sides, relaxing the feet completely. A few rounds this way. So inhaling to reach it up high, flexing the feet. Exhaling, sighing it out, relaxing the feet, bringing the hands back down. We'll take one more round here, inhaling through the nose, reaching it high, flexing the feet. Exhale, we sigh it out, relax. Good. Good. And then we'll begin a little core series here. So we'll place the soles of the feet on the floor and the knees up. Then from here, we'll take both arms and just hug the hands right around the low rib cage. So you can feel how the hands can help the core kind of hug in and then release. Right. So we'll use the hands to help support us through this core work. So as we exhale, we're going to take the torso, just the shoulders up off of the floor and the hug in. As we inhale, we're going to release. Good. 4 more times here. Exhaling up, contracting through those abdominal muscles. Inhaling to take it back. Exhaling to pick it up. Hugging in. Inhaling back down. One more time. Exhaling, giving yourself a little squeeze. Inhaling back down. Right, and from here we can leave the arms where they are. If you'd like to cross the other arm on top, you're welcome to do that. And we'll take the legs out long. So the hands still are hugging into that lower part of the rib cage. And this time we're gonna lift up the legs at the same time as we lift up the shoulders. So take a big inhale here. And then as we exhale, lifting the shoulders, lifting the legs, just to your degree. Squeezing through the rib cage, inhaling back down. 4 more, exhaling to lift. Inhaling to come back down. Noticing that core, exhaling to take it up. Inhaling back down, 2 more. Exhaling. Inhaling back down. Exhaling to squeeze even with the hands. Inhaling it back down. And then as we inhale, we take the arms back up overhead, just hanging out there for a moment. Couple of breaths. All right, taking a big inhale to stretch it even longer. And then as we exhale, we're gonna hug the knees into the chest. We're gonna roll it around here. Woo. Giving ourselves a little hug for that core work, just to prepare us for everything else we're planning on accomplishing during our practice. Take a big inhale here with the knees bent. As we exhale, we're going to take the knees over to the right and look left. But by accomplishment, it's all relative. It may be just breathing calmly through these movements and not necessarily how far you're going to go or how many you're going to do. Set that intention for focusing on the breath and maintaining that inner strength and building on it. So we're going to inhale toward the center and then exhale, taking the knees over to the left and looking right into this little twist. Nice and soft and gentle here. As we inhale, let's take it back to center. And as we exhale again, squeezing in, even squeezing in through those lower ribs as well as the core, and rounding it out a lot. So we begin that rocking and rolling motion forward and back. And then eventually we make our way up, first to a seated position, hanging out for a bit, taking a breath, and then coming right through to all fours, right to a tabletop position. From that tabletop position, we're going to inhale the chest forward, the tailbone high, and we're going to exhale to tuck and round. Cat and cow is where we're headed here. Inhaling to squeeze the shoulder blades together, exhaling to tuck and to round. Couple more rounds here. Just awakening and enlivening the spine, opening up the front side of the body and the back side of the body, alternating. And then from here, we're going to meet just in that neutral spine, tabletop position. And we're going to take that left leg back, good, and the right arm forward. So here, we're going to reach it out, flexing the back foot, reaching out heel to fingertips. Take a big inhale here. And then as we exhale, hugging toward the middle, knee toward elbow, elbow toward knee, inhaling to reach back out, hugging in to exhale, inhaling to reach out, exhaling to touch center. And then we're going to leave that hovering out, placing the hand back down on the floor. We've got the left leg still floating here. And then see about bending that knee. We're shooting for more or less 90-degree bend in the leg. Again, it's all relative, so go to your degree. Good, and then from here, maybe lift that thigh a little bit higher, and we're going to just send that knee that's on the floor and the hands towards each other energetically. Few breaths here, so this does get into the core and also into our balance. Big inhale, and as we exhale, let's take it down. Good. So maybe we'll try another couple rounds of cat and cow here, and then we'll try that balance on the other side. So from here, we're going to take the right leg back this time, flexing that foot, and the left arm forward. Balancing here, reaching it out, take a big inhale, and then as we exhale, hugging in, elbow to knee, inhaling to reach out, exhaling, elbow to knee. And let's try that one more time, inhaling to reach out, exhaling, elbow to knee, and then we're going to hover here for a moment, placing that left hand down and bending that right knee. So we're shooting for more or less of a 90-degree angle. You just want to make sure it doesn't droop. And then we're going to send the knee that's on the floor and the hands towards each other energetically and just be here for a few breaths. Nice and strong. Good. Take a big inhale here. And then as we exhale, let's take it down and take it back towards our lovely child's pose. So the hips towards the heels, and we're going to take extended child's pose. So the knees come out, the big toes come together. Taking the forehead into the mat or even onto your stacked arms. Just see what's feeling nice to you right now. Deep breaths here. Take a big inhale, inhale, inhale. And let's take another sigh out through the mouth. Then again, sealing the lips here. Again, if it's practical for you, breathing through the nose only. But mainly, we just want to make sure that we keep taking deep breaths. Deep, smooth inhales and exhales. And if you start to feel choppy with the breath, it's a great sign to come back to that child's pose. From here, we'll meet in our tabletop position once more. Big inhale here, and then exhaling to send the hands forward an inch or two and make our way up into that first downward facing dog. Tailbone comes toward the sky. Good. See if you want to pedal it out here a little bit. Bending one knee, straightening the other. And then we'll inhale to come up to both sets of tiptoes here and exhale to push with the arm strength. Push the chest towards the thighs here. And on your next exhale, go ahead and look up towards your belly button, which will help engage the core here. As we inhale, we'll look forward between the hands. As we exhale, just softly walking forward. And the feet are going to land about between the hands. Let's take the elbows and sway it out side to side. Knees nice and soft here. Take a big inhale. And as we exhale, the hands going to land wherever they want to fall is great. As we inhale, coming up one vertebra at a time. End of the inhale, sends the palms to touch, and exhaling, we come to heart center. Here in Tadasana, feeling nice and strong, finding our full height through the crown of the head, and grounding through the feet while keeping the toes relaxed. Take the hands down by the sides now with the palms forward, and feeling some engagement in between the shoulder blades is a good idea here to keep the chest nice and wide. Making some space there. So we're going to begin a Sun Salutation C series with some variations. So Surya Namaskar C with variations. We'll inhale the arms high, and then we'll exhale to fold forward, hinging from the hips. We'll inhale up to a flat back here, number 7 shape, hands on the shins or so. And then as we exhale, we're going to plant the hands and step that left foot all the way back. Great. As we inhale, we're going to come up. We're leaving that back knee up off the floor, but if you'd like to place it down, that'll lessen the intensity here. So coming into our crescent warrior. And then exhaling back into this lunge, placing the left hand by the right big toe and twisting. Dragonfly twist here. Exhaling to twist from the belly button, inhaling to expand through the chest. Next exhale takes both hands down on the floor, stepping it back into plank. Take a big inhale in your plank, and exhaling will come down with the knees, the chest and chin come to the floor, elbows hug in, pranam or inchworm, then inhales us forward into a little baby cobra. Lift up out of the low back here, elbows track back, and then exhaling, I'm going to press back into downward facing dog. A few breaths here, deep breaths. As we inhale, we look forward between the hands. As we exhale, that left foot steps forward, and we leave that back knee up off the floor, Or to modify, place that knee down. And inhaling, let's come up to a crescent warrior. Expanding through the chest, shining through the heart. As we exhale, we'll come back down into that lunge, placing right hand by the big toe and twist to the other side. The left arm reaches high. All right, big inhale. Exhaling, hands come down, and we're going to step it forward, finding Uttanasana, forward fold. As we inhale, we're going to rise, think one vertebra at a time. End of inhale sends the palms to touch. Exhaling, take it to heart center, see how you're feeling. Then we'll go for that other side. So inhaling, the arms high. Exhaling to fold forward, hinging from the hips. Inhaling to a number 7 shape here. And then as we exhale, the knees bend, the hands plant, and we shoot that right foot all the way back this time. So that back knee stays up if you're staying up there. And coming up to our crescent warrior. Good. Exhaling to take it down into that lunge, and then picking up that left arm, twisting. Big inhale here. Exhaling the hand down and stepping it back to plank. Take a big inhale in your plank, and then exhaling, knees, chest, and chin come to the floor. Inhaling to take the belly down, tops of the feet down, elbows track back. Exhaling into downward facing dog. A few deep breaths here. As we inhale, looking forward, and as we exhale, the right foot steps forward this time. Again, back knee stays up. Let's come up into our crescent warrior. All right, and then exhaling the hands down, finding that twist once more. Right arm reaches high. Big inhale. And then as we exhale, both hands on the mat and stepping it forward. Finding our Uttanasana, forward fold at the top of the mat. Inhaling to rise, think one vertebra at a time. Palms touch, and exhale to heart center. Just checking in with your breath, and we'll try a couple rounds of sun salutation. Letter A, Surya Namaskar A. So we'll inhale to rise here, reaching high. Exhaling to fold forward. Inhaling to a flat back. And then as we exhale, we step it back to a plank position. Same exhale takes you through Chaturanga Dandasana, sending the chest forward. You can still stick with that knees, chest, and chin move instead. Inhaling to up dog with the knees and hips up off the floor, or you can stay with cobra. Exhaling, downward facing dog. 3 deep breaths. As we inhale, looking forward between the hands. As we exhale, step or light hop forward. Inhaling to a nice flat back, long spine. Exhaling to hug in belly toward the thighs. And then let's see about unfolding reverse swan dive so that we're hinging up from that hip joint and leaving the back all in one piece. Reaching high, exhaling, equal balance between the feet, equal pressure between the hands, Samasthiti. Let's take another round here. Inhaling to reach it high, exhaling to fold it forward. Inhaling up to a flat back, and then exhaling to plant the hands, stepping back, or maybe even a light hop. Then sending the chest forward, inhaling to your back bend of choice, and then exhaling to downward facing dog. Taking some deep breaths here. Inhaling to look forward between the hands, exhaling to maybe lightly hop or step forward, inhaling to a flat back, exhaling to hug in, fold in, inhaling to rise, reverse swan dive, and exhaling to heart center. Let's take one more round here. Inhaling to rise. We're going to exhale to fold forward, Inhaling up to a flat back, and then exhaling to plant the hands and send the feet back. And sending the chest forward. Torso's about parallel with those arms and no lower. Good. Inhaling to your back bend of choice. Exhaling to downward facing dog. Great. From here, from our downward facing dog, we're going to inhale that right leg high. And we're going to exhale, taking that right knee toward the nose. And then softly place that right foot forward. Inhaling our way up into that crescent warrior. Staying here for a couple of breaths this time. So here, we're sending the front heel and the back toes towards each other isometrically to help with that balance and to continue to check in with our strength. Big inhale here. And then as we exhale, hands into prayer position and just leaning forward. 3 times like this. Inhaling to reach it high. Exhaling to lean forward. Inhaling to reach high. Exhaling to reach forward. Let's inhale back into that crescent warrior. Again, checking in with our core with all of that. And then the back foot comes about parallel to short side of mat. Coming into warrior 2. The back leg is an internal rotation. The front right leg is an external rotation, so that front thigh wraps outward. Great. As we inhale, we're going to exalt that warrior. So left hand comes down the back thigh, making some space in that right side rib cage. And as we inhale, we're going to straighten out that right front knee. As we exhale, coming into a T position with the arms. And then we'll begin to pull the right fingertips forward. Left hip goes back. Reach your edge with this reach, and then we're going to come around to Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle. So the right hand could be on the leg somewhere, maybe on the floor if you're bendy, and maybe even on the block, choosing your height on that block. Then see if you'd like to take flight from this position. So right hand comes forward onto the block or onto the floor or onto your book. Book works great for this. I'm going to flex that back foot like we're kicking into a wall behind us here. Big inhale, reaching out through all the limbs. And then as we exhale, that left foot steps back. Good. Now we're in a wide stance facing the long side of the mat. And those big toes come towards each other a little bit. The heels come out a little bit. Let's inhale to reach it out wide and exhale to fold in. Just giving ourselves a nice forward fold here. From here, coming up to a flat back. And then we're going to crawl around to that left foot toward the back of the mat. Taking that right foot in so the feet are about 2 or 3 feet apart. Great, have that block handy at the back of the mat here. And then we can place that block by the big toe side of the foot. Right hand comes onto the block. Left hand comes into that, actually left thumb into that left hip crease to crank that left hip back a little bit. And we're going to reach that left arm high into revolved triangle. Breathing deeply here. See if you want to take flight with this, taking the block or just your hand on the floor forward. Waving that back right leg up to floats. Revolved half moon. Take a big inhale here, and then as we exhale, we're going to step it back. So again, we're going to be in that wide leg stance, and here into goddess squat. So my knees are going to track right over my toes. My toes are pointed out. And then we can come into kind of a goalpost position with the arms. Stepping it back and forth. Now take a big inhale here. maybe putting the hands behind the head, and then exhaling right elbow to right thigh. Inhaling it up, exhaling to the other side. So taking a few rounds here, or if you know another variation and you want to take that, go for it. This is nice, of course, for the oblique abdominals. Take another round here. And then from here, I'm going to begin to crawl over toward that right foot. And I'm going to come back toward the front of the mat. All right, from here, let's check out that crescent warrior one more time. Now we're going to get the weight a little bit more into the right front foot. See if you can keep the toes relaxed. This is a balancing and strength and core kind of thing we're going into. As we exhale, we're going to come up to the front of the mat and lift that left knee. Good, hugging in. Inhaling, coming back into crescent warrior. Exhaling to hug in. Good. Just standing on that right leg. Inhaling to step it back. Exhaling, here's that third time, and this time we're just going to hug that left knee in pillar pose. And then coming into tree, if you would like. Just placing that left foot on the right thigh, or you can take that left foot onto the calf or make a little kickstand with the ankle. Just so long as your foot is not on the knee joint, you're good to go. Practicing our balance. And we've already done a lot with the core here, so we can keep engaging through the core to help our tree stay balanced here. Take a big inhale here, and as we exhale, let's let the hands come down, let's let the feet just walk side to side, and we'll try all that on the other side. So from here, we'll start with that launching into sun salutation A. So inhaling to reach high, exhaling to fold forward, inhaling to that number 7 shape, and then we're going to plant the hands and step or take a light hop back. From your plank, use that same exhale to bring the chest forward, the torso down, no lower than the arms. Inhaling to find your back bend of choice here, and exhaling into a downward facing dog. Hanging out here or taking a child's pose. Checking in with your breath always. Let's inhale to look forward. No. Let's inhale to take that left leg high. Let's exhale to take that left knee toward the nose. Hovering here. And then placing that left foot all the way forward. So we'll come up into that crescent warrior. We're good friends by now, us and crescent warrior. Take a big inhale here. And as we exhale, hands to prayer, hugging in. Inhaling to come up. Exhaling to hug in. Inhaling to come up. Exhaling to come in. Good. Let's inhale all the way up this time, and we'll make that transition into our warrior 2, looking out over that left middle finger. Left knee travels toward that left pinky toe. Shoulders are down away from the ears. And right hand down the back thigh. Let's exalt this warrior. Take a big inhale here. Take a big exhale. As we inhale, we're going to straighten that left front knee. As we exhale, we're going to come into a T position with the arms. And then we're going to simply begin to pull the left fingertips forward. The right hip begins to move back. Reach your edge with this reach, and then we're going to spin it around into Utthita Trikonasana, extended triangle pose. Lots of space in this pose, particularly with all the limbs reaching in these different directions. With lots of space in both sides of the torso, both sides of the rib cage. And then see about taking flight here. So left hand might come onto your block or book or onto the floor, and then we're going to float that back right leg. You can look down at your hand, and for a little bit more of a challenge, woo, that was a challenge, I can look to the side of the wall. Flexing that back foot here. Big inhale, and then as we exhale, we're going to step that foot back. Take a big inhale, arms come out to a T, and your big toes are going to come towards each other, the heels a little bit apart. And then as we exhale, coming into a forward fold. You can always have one of those blocks or books underneath your hands here. Forward folds are said to be calming to the nervous system. So good to hang out here for a couple of breaths. Let's take a big inhale to walk it forward with a flat back, and then we'll just walk it over toward that right foot. So now we're facing the back of the mat, and that left back foot now walks in so there's about 2 or 3 feet between the feet. I'm going to crank that right hip back a little bit, check that my hips are level, and then begin to place that block by the big toe side of that foot. And always possible to also just grab onto the leg somewhere, the ankle here. And then see about expanding the chest as you inhale, exhaling to twist from the belly button, revolved triangle. Right, from here, we're going to see about taking flight on this one. Back leg is going to float. The left hand on the block or on the floor, revolved half moon. Breathing deeply. And whenever we start to wobble or fall, you see if we can continue to breathe deeply here. Take a big inhale, and as we exhale, we're going to step it back. I'm going to go ahead and turn towards you here. We're going to just come into our goddess squat one more time. So tracking the knees right over the toes, taking a goalpost with the arms, and seeing about taking the hands behind the head if you like, and taking it back and forth in a tick-tock motion. Keep breathing, exhaling down, inhaling up, taking a few rounds here. Great. And then just coming up, I'll turn back around so I'm on the correct side. And then from here, we're going to begin to come around and frame that left front foot with the hands. And then gradually making your way into that crescent warrior by coming up onto the back toes, finding your balance between those 2 feet. And inhaling our way up. All right, so we begin to send the weight into that front left foot. Take a big inhale here, and as we exhale, lift that right knee, taking it up toward the front of the mat. Inhale, back into crescent warrior. Exhale, we're hugging it in. Inhale to crescent warrior. Exhale, we're hugging it in. And then we're going to come into tree pose. Again, I'll turn to face you here so you can see, even though we did it on the other side. So that right foot comes into the thigh, hopefully not on the knee, onto that calf, or it makes a little kickstand with the ankle. If and when you're ready, you can lift the arms If you're still feeling quite wobbly, often it helps to really press the foot into the leg, press the leg into the foot, and then eventually growing your branches high. Great, take a big inhale here. And as we exhale, the hands come down, that foot comes down, we step it out side to side. And then see about coming down into a yogi squat, so the feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. And again, just like in goddess squat, we're gonna track the knees right over the toes. This helps protect the joints here. And you don't have to come down this low at all. Go to your degree. Sometimes it's really nice to take the feet just about parallel with the toes not pointing out and to crawl the fingers forward and then to pull the tailbone back. This is a really nice stretch for the low back, so you can just play with this and sit it right down into yogi squats. All right. And then eventually we'll take the hands right by the side so we can support ourselves to sit down. And from here, we take the feet forward, coming into Dandasana or staff pose, which is amazing for one's posture and for the core. Even though it kind of looks like we're just sitting around, this is actually a very active pose. So we're going to press down through the quads. We're going to wrap the thighs inward, pressing the thighs down so much that the heels begin to lift. And then finding your full height by drawing up through the crown of the head. And then think of pulling in through the abdominal muscles, but also even through the pelvic floor here. So yeah, we're not going to fold forward in this position. We're just going to practice Dandasana, which again is a lot in and of itself. A big inhale here. As we exhale, let's let it go. And from here, we're going to simply cross the legs and come forward. And just take one cheek to the mat here. Take the big toes together, the heels apart. This helps open up through the low back. Feel that belly moving against the mat as you breathe. And then we'll come into a back bend series to work the back side of the core here. So for locust pose, we'll place the tops of the feet on the floor, the palms face the hips, and we'll inhale to peel the chest up off the mat. Try to even spread the tops of the toes that are on the floor. Keep breathing deeply. Each inhale might take you up a little bit farther, but not overdoing it. Go to your degree, lift up and out of the low back so it can really be like for about length. And then we're going to exhale it down, turning the other cheek to the mat, big toes together, heels apart. This time we'll take a locust variation. So again, the tops of the feet are on the mat, and we're going to take the arms out to the sides. Elbows can be slightly bent or arms can be straight. And we begin to also now take the feet up off the floor. Again, just to your degree, maybe they want to stay down here. Spreading your wings like you can fly. Lifting the thighs if that feels okay for your body, but make it about length. Length in the spine. Big inhale and exhaling it down. Turning our face to the other side. And big toes together, heels apart. And we'll do another round just like that. Or if you'd like to take another variation, maybe you want to grab the ankles and come into upward bow pose. I'm liking this variation, so I'm going to hang with it. So coming up, arms out, Squeezing shoulder blades towards each other, opening up the chest, length through the spine, big inhale, and exhaling it down. And this time taking the hands right by the chest, and we're going to push it back ever so gently and slowly into a traditional child's pose with the knees close together, reaching the arms back. Breathing deeply here. All right, we check back in with our breath. Had a little rest, and now we're really going to take it down. So if you're working with the yoga blocks, let's leave them handy as you come down onto your back. And if you're not working with blocks but books, you may even want to have a cushion nearby for later on. But from here, we'll come into Navasana, or boat pose. So we'll begin to lift up the legs. You can start with the hands by the sides to really support you here. If your spine is staying long through this and want a little bit more intensity, bring the fingertips forward. Maybe begin to straighten the legs. You're pretty fatigued to the core a little bit. And then from here, we'll take the feet down, the hands behind you, inhaling, the butt up, reverse table. Good. Exhaling the butt down. We inhale up to whatever your version of Navasana, boat pose, feels right for you. Wherever you are, squeeze the feet together, squeeze the legs together. Big inhale, and then as we exhale, hands gonna come back. Inhaling the butt up, maybe push it a little bit higher, maybe let the head fall back if that's feeling okay and it's not making you dizzy. Exhaling the butt down, inhaling the legs up, Navasana. Let's take one more round here. Exhaling the feet down, inhaling the butt high, exhaling it down. One more round, Navasana boat pose, and then maybe to a low hover, or maybe just rolling slowly all the way down to the floor. Great. So from here, done back bends. So from here, we're going to grab our blocks, and if you're using the blocks, you want one on the highest height and you want one on the medium height. And then if you're using a cushion or even a folded blanket, you can simply have that on the floor. So either way, what we're going to do is to open up the chest in a reclining position. So we can place that space between the shoulder blades, like right onto that medium block, and then the head onto the high block. And the soles of the feet together, the knees apart. That's one way to do it. Or, again, we can have this cushion or bolster or blanket folded up, placing it right underneath the torso, not really in that low back area, but higher up here, so that we really open up the chest. And take the arms out. Take the soles of the feet together, the knees apart. Either way, you've got a reclined cobbler's pose. Another nice and possibly tricky variation is if you've got both an appropriately shaped cushion and two blocks, you can place the bolster or cushion over the blocks and simply recline over both. So either way, we're doing soles of the feet together, knees apart. So this is a nice restorative shape, which will be great to allow the heart to open and those core muscles that we just checked in with and worked a chance to really relax and open up. So feel free to stay here and soften in as long as you wish. If this is feeling really nice to you, it could serve as your final resting pose, your Shavasana. Or you could chill here for a good long time, or just wait until your body calls you into Shavasana, that face-up paper doll shape. Wherever you are, just finding some stillness, finding some release. Allowing the benefits of this practice to really resonate within you as you continue to release into whatever shape you're in. And whenever you are ready, slowly making your way, if you're on some props, just carefully rolling over onto your side to come off of them. And if you're in Shavasana, maybe giving yourself a stretch up overhead, hugging in, rolling it around and rolling over. Finding yourself lying on your side, just supported by the floor there. Feeling held. And then gradually making your way up to a comfortable seated position just by pushing up through the hands. And just taking a moment to see how you feel. Thank you so much for joining me for this Ignite practice, for your nice strong core. And just know that that strength from within will guide you no matter what you encounter throughout your days. Namaste.